Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is your host Thomas Tyree from On the Hot Podcast. Today, this will be episode 161 for you guys today. Of course, this episode is going to be coming out on all four of our platforms: our Instagram account, our Facebook account, our YouTube account, and our Apple Podcast account. So let's go ahead and dive into the first segment of the episode this week. I'll be sharing my NBA free agency predictions. So, with the NBA season wrapping up last week, of course, the Boston Celtics are your 2023-24 NBA champions. It is now all after tomorrow in the world of basketball inside the NBA world. Following the NBA draft Wednesday and Thursday, we'll be moving full steam ahead to NBA free agency this summer, where the new chapter will be written inside the NBA world. So today, I'll be predicting where the top 8 free agents I do believe will be signing, going elsewhere, or being traded this NBA offseason. So let's start off with the biggest guy available on the market. It will be LeBron James. LeBron James is in a player option, and I do believe that he will re-sign with the Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron being in this player option situation at 39 years of age, he'll be 40 by the end of 2024. I just don't see LeBron James leaving the Los Angeles Lakers, and we all know LeBron James doesn't have much time left in his Hall of Fame NBA career, one of, if not the greatest of all time. LeBron James probably has, realistically, 2 to 3 years left of his NBA career. And I just feel like at this point of LeBron James's career, I think that that Los Angeles vibe is just too much to give up at 39 years of age. And it's just too good for LeBron to leave the gold and purple organization this late in his NBA career. Plus, we just seen the Los Angeles Lakers hire his boy JJ Redick, who apparently is retired from podcasting after LeBron James and him started their own basketball podcast. And now he's the new Los Angeles Lakers head coach. So all of this time, when people were viewing in weekly, was JJ Redick just being interviewed by LeBron James, the Los Angeles Lakers' best player? I think he was. And I think he's not going to go anywhere, knowing that JJ Redick is going to be the next head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, knowing he's going to have a say on what's going to happen in terms of how the basketball team is going to be ran, having his input right next to his buddy JJ Redick, and knowing he's going to have a say of what happens next with the Los Angeles Lakers team this late in his career. I just don't see LeBron James going anywhere else, and I do believe he will re-sign with the Lakers this summer. Now, next player on my list is Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey is a restricted free agent, but I do believe he will obviously re-sign with the Philadelphia 76ers. I don't think there's any chance that Tyrese Maxey goes anywhere else this summer and other than re-signing with the Philadelphia 76ers, because the 76ers have truly shown they truly believe in Tyrese Maxey. They have believed in him, and was one of the reasons why they were so quickly to depart from James Harden, who wanted out of Philly in the beginning part of this following NBA season. And they pushed the narrative to be for Tyrese Maxey to be Joel Embiid's second best scoring option with this Philadelphia 76ers offense. And he really deserves a big contract this summer, because Tyrese Maxey just had the best NBA career of his best season of his NBA career. He just averaged 25 points per game, made his first All-Star appearance, and won the most improved player this following NBA season. So Tyrese Maxey is not going anywhere. He deserves a big contract in Philadelphia this summer. Now, next player on my list, Paul George. Paul George is in a player option right now, and I can see Paul George opting into a new contract, but I can see Paul George requesting a trade out of LA and requesting a trade from the Los Angeles Clippers. I just don't see the Los Angeles Clippers giving Paul George a max contract at this point in his NBA career, and I definitely don't see the Clippers giving him a contract as big as Kawhi Leonard's right now in LA at this stage of his career. And I just feel like the Clippers know they missed the gap. They missed the opportunity to capitalize on a championship when you had a prime Kawhi Leonard and a prime Paul George together for countless years in LA and never worked out. And they have yet to win an NBA championship, have yet to make an NBA Finals appearance, since the two have been teaming up since 2019. So, with that being said, I could see Paul George being traded to a contending team, maybe the Golden State Warriors, depending on what they do this summer. I'm not ruling that out. I think he'll be a third good scoring option behind Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey in Philadelphia with the 76ers. Or I could see him being traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder. playing alongside Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren, and company in OKC, but going back there. So I do believe Paul George is going to be gone, and I do believe he's going to go to a contending team this summer. Now, next player on my list. This one's pretty interesting. You have OG Anunoby, who is under a player option. Now, my co-host Rob Sarasulo, we know he's a big New York Knicks fan here, but I do believe that OG will test the waters in NBA free agency this summer. And my bold prediction is that what's going to happen to OG this summer, in a similar situation what happened to DeAndre Ayton a few summers ago when he was this close of signing with the Indiana Pacers, until the Phoenix Suns maximize their opportunity to match the Indiana Pacers offer and give DeAndre Ayton even more money to re-sign and stay with the Phoenix Suns. I think OG is going to be in a similar situation with two teams this summer in the NBA. But I do believe that OG Anunoby does have the leverage here in terms of wanting a bigger contract in New York, because he's in a position to demand a max contract, because when he was on the court and healthy with the Knicks, they won 25 games and only lost 5 games when he was healthy on the court with them. And he's a good two-way player that helped them a lot with their success and when he got there. And the Knicks gave up so much in January or December or January to get OG Anunoby from the Toronto Raptors, and they gave up so much to get him. It would be a huge loss if they lost him this summer in NBA free agency. I don't think that the Knicks are in position to lose him, so I do believe they're going to offer him a big contract. And I think OG Anunoby is going to re-sign with the New York Knicks this summer. Now, moving on to the next player, DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan is an unrestricted free agent, and this has to be one of the biggest head-scratching moves of this past NBA season. During the trade deadline, before the trade deadline came, a team that we talked about on this podcast, a team that needed to just blow it up right then and there, was Chicago Bulls. And they did not do that. They did not trade away DeMar DeRozan. They did not trade away Zach LaVine. They didn't trade away anybody. And we know it's over for the Chicago Bulls in terms of being a contender right now in the landscape of the NBA. But now that you didn't trade away DeMar DeRozan, at least get something, now we all know he's definitely walking away with Chicago Bulls, and the Bulls are going to get absolutely nothing when DeMar DeRozan walks away this summer. Now, DeMar DeRozan is in the late stages of his career. He is 35 years of age, and he will be 35 at the beginning of next NBA season. And I believe he wants to be on a championship contending team and win a championship before it all ends. If you guys don't remember, he was the sacrificial lamb when Kawhi Leonard was traded to the Raptors in 2018, 2019. And he was actually traded to the Spurs, and he was not a part of that Toronto Raptors championship team that year. So he has never won an NBA championship. And at this point, I think DeMar DeRozan wants to win a title more than anything before he hangs it up. And I can see him going to a team like the Philadelphia 76ers if they miss out on the opportunity of getting Paul George. I think it'd be a good scoring option behind Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. Or I could see him taking Paul George's spot in LA with the Clippers if Paul George is no longer there. I think they won't rebuild, knowing that they have a chance to still be a contending team in the West. And I just see him going to those two teams this summer. Now, continuing with my Clippers talk, James Harden, who's an unrestricted free agent. I don't see James Harden leaving the Clippers. I think they need some attraction. The Clippers need some type of star attraction for their new arena that they just built in LA for this upcoming NBA season. They will no longer share arena with the Los Angeles Lakers. They'll have their own arena in LA this upcoming NBA season. And keeping James Harden and losing Paul George seems like a realistic possibility right now for the Los Angeles Lakers this upcoming NBA free agency. Now, I think James Harden was pretty content with his role with the Clippers after he got traded from the 76ers at the beginning part of the season. And we all know those MVP caliber days of James Harden being a scoring machine, those days are behind him. And I think he's there to be a good role player. And I'm not saying that in a disrespectful way for one of the greatest shooting guards of all time, but at this point, James Harden is like a scoring boost that is there and a scoring option, but he's not on that MVP caliber level at this point of his NBA career. But if James Harden does not return to LA with the Clippers, I could see him going back to Houston with the Rockets, of course. I think H-Town will always have a special spot in his heart. Or I could see him going to San Antonio with the San Antonio Spurs to play alongside Victor Wembanyama and potentially help their stock rise out in San Antonio. I mean, Greg Popovich would definitely use James Harden very well, a veteran player in the pick and roll game with him and Victor Wembanyama out there in San Antonio. So I don't think that's an unrealistic move for James Harden if he doesn't go back to LA this summer. I think maybe Houston or San Antonio. I could see him out in Texas once again. Now, next player on my list is D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell is on a player option, and I do believe that D'Angelo Russell will not return to the Los Angeles Lakers next NBA season. I think it's time for him to find a new home. At times he was really the scapegoat, the blame for when things went wrong with the Los Angeles Lakers. The finger was really pointed to him in a lot of situations, and I get it. He didn't play his best last season, but come on, it's a team effort, especially when the Lakers do wrong because somebody's getting fired or somebody's getting the finger pointed at them other than LeBron James. Love to my boy, but it's the truth. But I just can't see D'Angelo Russell playing there anymore. I think some realistic landing options for D'Angelo Russell would be the Miami Heat or the Orlando Magic this upcoming summer or this upcoming NBA free agency. Now, last player on my list is Klay Thompson. He's an unrestricted free agent. I don't see Klay Thompson returning to the Golden State Warriors. It's sad. I mean, we've seen some trios not finish their NBA careers together. Look at LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh in Miami. Look at in Boston of Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen. Look at it in San Antonio, Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker. It's sports. It's a business. You don't get the fairy tale ending all the time. I think at this point, Klay, I don't see him returning to the Warriors. He's unfollowed them on social media, deleted all championship photos with him, Steph, and the team on Instagram. I just think those days, his time is up in the Bay Area. And we're seeing Klay Thompson, he's not the same player in the past. His game is starting to decline. He averaged 17 points per game last season. At times, Steve Kerr did bring him off the bench. He's not that same player, and he's been through a lot of injuries. And it's understandable at this point of his NBA career, but he's going to go down as one of the greatest scorers of all time. And his poor scoring production from last year, I think his stock is going to take a hit. And I could see him going to Oklahoma City Thunder. I think that's the best landing spot for Klay Thompson this summer if he doesn't return. He can play alongside Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren, and Jalen Williams and Oklahoma City Thunder with a lesser role to be dependent on in terms of a scoring production. I think that'd be a good team for him, for a young contending team out in the West. But those are the following predictions I have for the top 8 NBA free agents heading into NBA free agency.